Conservative women will be represented on Capitol Hill, it turns out. Congresswoman Kat Cammack and Senator Katie Britt launching the bicameral Republican Women's Caucus. Senator Britt writing, "Women's issues are American issues. We're focused on protecting our children, creating economic opportunity, and securing our borders, all with President Donald Trump's support." Joining me now is the aforementioned Alabama Senator Katie Britt. It's always nice to see you, Senator. A lot of gender insanity coming from your Socialist Democrat colleagues who believe the best woman for the job is a man. Will the GOP Women's Caucus provide an actual counterbalance to the leftists who want to endanger opportunity and the lives of women in sports and in other arenas?
Absolutely. We are not going to let them erase women. We're going to stand firmly, not only for our rights, but for future generations. When you think about this, I am raising a young woman, and she loves to play sports, volleyball, basketball, run track. She deserves that opportunity. She deserves the opportunity to compete fairly and to compete safely. We're going to make sure that we raise our voice on that issue and so many more to create economic opportunity, to create a pathway to the American dream, and to create a more safe and secure America. You said it earlier, but women's issues are American issues. We want a secure border. We want our dollar to go further at the gas pump or the grocery store. We want common sense to be returned to Washington, D.C., and that's exactly what we've gotten under President Trump. So we are honored to raise our voices, to stand alongside President Trump as he continues to create opportunity, not only for women, but for all Americans from coast to coast.
Now, you are throwing your support behind a bipartisan Kids Off Social Media Act, which it would prohibit social media platforms from allowing children under the age of 13 to create social media accounts, and then prohibit social media companies from recommending content using their algorithms to users who are under the age of 17. How is this thing going to be enforced?
Look, Chris, we know we have to do something. The truth is the data is already available. If companies wanted to, they could ensure that no one under the age of 13 got on their platform as is. As we know, the Surgeon General came out last year and said no child under the age of 16 should actually be on social media. Now, the social media platforms themselves say that no one under 13 is on them. They're exploiting loopholes, saying they don't have knowledge, but the fact is the knowledge is there. We want to make sure that children under 13 aren't on social media. Then obviously knowing those ages and knowing that data, Chris, we know those algorithms are used against our children. Between the ages of 13 and 17, we've said you don't get to use those against our kids. They're impressionable, they're young. We want to put up the proper guardrails, Chris, that allow them to explore and grow, but to do so in a safe manner. I mean, whether it is buying a pill on Snapchat that they believe to be one thing that's laced with fentanyl, and I heard you talking earlier about the fentanyl coming over our border that's been poisoning Americans that Joe Biden chose to do nothing about, or whether it is sextortion that's occurring in homes across our country with young individuals that maybe make a mistake or snap a picture and send it, and then unfortunately are faced with the unimaginable. We have to do more, and the algorithms themselves send children down a rabbit hole. The longer you stay on a post, the more money they make. The more depressing the content, the longer you stay on a post. You can see what this is doing to our children, Chris. We've got to do better. There is a mental health crisis amongst young people in America, and the time to step up is right now.
Well, just in Texas, as an example, they have a proof of age requirement on adult websites. The porn site Pornhub refused to comply, so they were completely banned from Texas. Isn't that kind of a more straightforward method? I mean, just you either have proof of age on these sites, or guess what? You can't be on.
Look, I'm certainly open to any and all options that are available. The truth is, when you sign up for that phone, you know how old that the user is. These app stores have that data. They could not allow, if they simply wanted to, just not place these social media apps on a user's phone that is underage, that they wouldn't be able to do that without parental consent, or would not be able to do that at all. They have the tools, Chris. They don't want to do it. The younger they get these kids in, the more impressionable they are. They have hooked a user for life, but unfortunately, it is taking the life of so many. We've got to do more, and we've got to do better, and we've got to start somewhere. So I'm open to any and all options, anything to protect the next generation, but the time to do it is now.
Last thing I have for you, Senator, judicial tyranny. Your colleague, Senator Kennedy, put on a clinic the other day to put it in perspective. There were 27 universal injunctions For all of the 20th century, there were 86 used in President Trump's first term, and now 30 have been filed in the first 2 months of his second term. This is clearly judicial overreach, judicial tyranny, negating an election, and a president's Article 2 powers. According to the Constitution, Congress must act. If Congress doesn't act, many Americans, Senator, would question why you folks are even up there. Wouldn't Americans be right to raise that question?
Amen. Absolutely. And look, Senator Kennedy is a national treasure. It is an honor to serve with him every single day. And look, he speaks truth to power, no matter who is in the room. And so he has laid the facts out there. I am proud to be a co-sponsor of Senator Grassley's efforts that will do exactly what you just said. It will make sure that one district judge cannot issue a nationwide injunction without actually certifying a class. Look, there are ways to go about doing this, but unfortunately, we've seen far too often that the APA to be interpreted incorrectly. So the clarification of that is coming. We're going to have a hearing on it tomorrow. I am sure Senator Kennedy will have some really good questions, so everybody should tune in. But we're going to make sure that Americans can actually get answers, and that we set the parameters as our forefathers intended them to be, to make sure that people can be heard, but that one judge, as actually Justice Kagan said, one district judge should not be able to halt policy across the entire nation in the way that they're doing right now.
It's true. Senator Katie Britt, thank you very much. Appreciate the visit as always.